What's going on today, people? You already know what it is. It's your boy Tunchi, and this is YBTV. This one right here is going to be a freestyle about a company called CR England. But before we do that, make sure you hit me up on the website at www.ybetv.org. You already know, and go to Ask Tune, slide down there, and make sure you shoot me an email about what you want me to talk about. CR England. The CR in CR England stands for crook. I think that is one of the worst companies you can ever think about working for. CR England, they will cheat you every chance they get. If you work at CR England and you have a statement, especially as an owner operator, a lease driver, even a company driver, every time it is an error on that check stub, it will always be in their favor. 99.9% of the time, every error will be in their favor. So it's like, how? How is this a coincidence that me and everybody that I knew that worked with CR England, not at, with CR England, always got errors on their check in their favor? That just aggravates me. That's number one. Secondly, they changed the rules on the go, and I know they some crooks. Let me show you one thing that happened. Okay, one of my homeboys, he got a Peterbilt from them, right? And he leased the Peterbilt for a predetermined amount of time that he signed on for. And at the end of that lease, he's supposed to have been able to put down like $7,000 to $8,000, and he would have been able to put down on that truck. And his variable mileage, which is a scam, would have went out the window. Variable mileage be in between like $500 to $1,400 per week for no reason. They just made up a stupid reason to charge you that. So after you put down about a truck, that goes away. So at the end of the lease, which they said that, oh, well, Peterbilt say they don't want to sell the trucks, so we got to turn it back in, so you got to lease another truck. So I was like, this is kind of coincidental that they wait to the end of the lease, that they don't find out until the day the lease ends. So it's like, this is a hellified coincidence. I'm like, okay, you know what? Fine. So it goes from that. The next thing was, he went and he got a Volvo. He went and got a Volvo after the Peterbilt. He went and got a Volvo. He loved the Volvo. He said, okay, you know what? I'm going to lease it. I'm going to do my time on my lease. Then at the end of my lease, I'm going to put down and I'm going to buy this Volvo. After a year or two, he gets to the end of the Volvo lease, and guess what they tell him? Well, Volvo is not giving up these trucks, so you're going to have to lease another truck because Volvo said that they got to turn them in. We just finding it out. So I say, okay, now this is a hellified coincidence for this to happen twice. So now I get upset because I was the one who found out. Someone called me and told me, like, man, they not letting people get these Volvos. So I called my homie like, hey, bro, they not letting people get these Volvos. And he was pissed like, man, quit lying to me. I'm talking about he was hurt. I could hear his heart breaking. Because he been busting his ass for years to get these trucks. And I cursed. And he been busting his hump all these years to get these trucks, and then he wasn't able to get them. So I'm like, okay, you know what? Forget it. I go outside and I watch. And I watch them with these new Volvos. They got 3-year leases, 15 miles on them. So I watch, and then a guy walk up to one of the Volvos. He getting in and he checking it out. He about to lease it. So I walk up to him. I say, hey, bro, come here. That Volvo right there that you're about to get, you gonna purchase it when you finish that lease? He said, yeah, I'm thinking about it. I was like, did you ask them if you could purchase it? He said, yeah, they told me that I can buy it. Now, I know for a fact that he cannot buy this Volvo, 100% sure. I swear to God. Do you know that these people had the audacity to tell this man that he can buy it? They were going to let him go 3 years leasing that truck, and at the end of that 3 years, they was going to tell him he could not buy that truck. So I feel like they were some crooks, but you know what? I was on my second truck with them. Now let me tell you what happened to me. I had my second truck. My first truck I bought from them, it went down. I lucked up. I was able to get the title. It went down, and then I went and bought my second truck to fix the first truck. So I went and did a lease, paid the variable mileage. I paid them between 500, easily 500, between 500 and 1400. My average been about between 9 and 1200 easily. So, and that was on variable mileage. So at the end of it, right, I go in, and the rule was when I started it, they said that you could put 7,000 down to buy it, and $1,000 if you got bad credit. So $8,000 if you got bad credit. So that was that's how it's supposed to be. And then you supposed to bought it for about about 60,000. They added another 18 to 20,000 to the purchase price right after I signed my lease. They added that, and then they also changed the down payment amount to a certain percentage now. So now the down payment went up to about $12,000. So at the end of it, I had the money. Of course, I had the $12,000 to buy it. So they had a rule. They always had this rule. It was if you had anything over $2,000 that you have in your maintenance account, you can use that toward the down payment. So I go in there and I got 10,000 cash. I say I got 10,000 cash, and I got 4,000 in my maintenance account, give or take. And I say I'm gonna use that 2,000 out of my maintenance account, and we're gonna rock and roll. So they say, okay, let me write up the paperwork and get you started. I say, all right, cool. They called one of the actual Englands. I think it was like Gene England or like Rob England, one of the Englands. I forgot what his name was. So they called him. This England, I swear to God, he told me, quote unquote, he had a good week last week. Tell him he can't use his maintenance account. Tell him use that. I'm like, what? How you gonna make a rule on a fly like that? Like, this is a rule for everybody else. That's discrimination. Like, what are you doing? I'm gonna leave. He say, well, whatever. Leave then. Swear to God, I left. England is some goddamn crooks. I cannot explain anybody thinking about going to England. Only people that I would tell to go to England is people that they can't find nowhere else to go. But if you can find somewhere else to go, stay the hell away from England. Another thing that they do that I hated is that they don't take no responsibility if you train. If you training somebody and that person is hard on your transmission and mess up your transmission or do anything that hurts your truck, if they hit something, you're responsible for the deductible as if you hit it. So I'm like, okay, I can see that maybe it's because you signed up for it. But the amazing part is they charge you to train their student. So it's like, wait, I got to take the responsibility if you break something, but also I got to pay you for getting them? Yeah, you actually do. You actually pay CR England for that student. You pay them a weekly salary for that student. And you take all the responsibility for that student. And if you don't like it, or if you do something wrong, they will snatch your training status, and you will end up having to be a solo driver. They kicked the majority of the last time I was there, they kicked all the owner operators off the dedicated accounts and forced them to over the road because they didn't want people actually making a regular wage. Like they some crooks. They some crooks. That's why they lost a lot of their Horizon closed down because they was crooked. They continuously get sued all the time. They just a horrible company, and they are some really horrible people. I think the older Englands was kind of okay. The ones that started the company a lot earlier, I think they was kind of okay. They was drivers. But those kids are some greedy pieces of garbage. And I just wanted to put that out there. And I'm not being biased. I'm not being butthurt, man. There's a lot of companies like me and Mercer, we end on terms that wasn't the best. But I can honestly say they was 100% fair. I respect them. I understood their decision. And, like, they was great, man. And I'm definitely going to do a review on Mercer, too. I'm going to do that next. I'm going to do a review on Mercer next. And then I'm going to do a review on SLT. I'm going to do a review on JB Hunt. I'm going to do a review on as many companies as I possibly can to get people inside thoughts on these companies to let them know what they're signing on for. Stay away from England. If you hear CR England coming from this way, go that way. You already know. It's your boy Tunchi. If you don't want to end up in a box, don't sign on with them crooks and think outside of it. YBE.
Drug dealing and killing is going on in my town. Yeah, don't take a cat love to kill, or a drill love to drill. See, just being yourself is the definition of real.